Lightness is what I'm craving. Easiness is what I want to be. I want to be flowing in the wind like a fallen leaf, soaring like a bird. But how is it possible to let oneself free between all these expectations? The harshness of the world, one that has not been made for sensitive, artistic, or even autistic people, has not considered the value of slowness, carefreeness, whimsy, and love. I find myself frequently torn between functioning and letting myself free, feeling lost and confused. But now it's spring, and spring calls out to me, invites me to dive deep and explore again what it means to have lightness in my life. I don't know if you can hear it, but spring has finally arrived, and you can hear the birds singing, and it's just very beautiful and uplifting, and I feel like I'm starting to evolve from a deep winter sleep, which is very nice. I don't have a final and definite answer to the question on how to be free all the time, as it is a unique experience to everyone, but let me show you a glimpse of my journey from the past few weeks, and maybe, just maybe, at the end of this video, you will find a tiny little bit of what I found while creating it. So basically the other day I was sitting at this desk and I didn't feel myself like at all. I looked at the paintings that are hanging on this wall and it felt like I had no idea and no recollection of what it felt like to be in the flow to paint something. I felt so cut off from myself and from the person who I was in the moment when I painted all of this, that I couldn't remember how it felt like to be me. And that was such a sad feeling. And I have a theory that it may have to do with all the masking that I've done throughout the past years. From my understanding, the way I have experienced it is that masking doesn't only concern consciously putting up a facade in front of other people in order to be more accepted. To me, masking was more like internalizing the really bad criticism and all of the dislike that I gotten as a child and as a young person. Believing it, I really truly believed that I had some really bad weaknesses I really had to work on. And so I didn't want to be that person anymore. Today I know that this weakness that I should have overcome is autism. From this point on, I started to grind. I tried to practice more and more the things that I felt like I was lacking. But in the process of that, I turned into a person that constantly ignored her own needs and work against myself in order to tell myself the story that I'm not that weak person anymore. And as a result, I lost track of who I truly am. All the years of masking my autistic self have led to a survival program in my brain, which helps me to be able to fulfill outer expectations. But I seem to become estranged from myself whenever I have to play a role for too long, whether it be job-wise, socially, or otherwise. If I am so focused on being the person who functions, pushing my distinct needs to the side, it can happen that my brain is still stuck in functioning mode, even after leaving the situation. That means I left the person I truly am locked behind the door, and when returning, I've forgotten how to open it again. Many autistic people have a monotropic brain, and I am definitely one of them. I can focus intensely on something for a long time, but switching situations is very hard, which is why I'm working on creating transition times and structures which allow me to make the switch from the duty-fulfilling person to my authentic true self a lot easier. I'm not happy with this. It's alright, but it's not what I had perceived it to be.
It's not even finished because I gave up. This was way too bright. This became too muddy. The shadows are a bit too muddy for my taste. So this is the vision I had for this. I copied the drawing onto very thin paper just to plan the colors. I like that it looks so light, like she's in the clouds or something. And then when I painted it, it didn't look like it at all, because to be honest, I tried way too hard, because I really wanted to push through the blockage that I told you about earlier, but it didn't quite work. It doesn't really capture the lightness I had anticipated for this painting. But maybe, you know, maybe that's the point, because I didn't feel very lighthearted when I painted this, so it just reflects it, you know. And being angry while painting doesn't really help it, so yeah.
I think going back to yourself can sometimes mean re-inviting the softness and playfulness, because these are the traits that get suppressed first when you have to function anywhere. These traits are what even the kindest people have learned to subconsciously reject and judge, even about themselves, because this modern world hasn't been made with sensitive people, artists, or old souls in mind. And I think I might have hardened up too much. So this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm re-inviting the softness and the playfulness into my life again. And I keep realizing that the most soft and playful I get is when I am in a place in nature, surrounded by trees and, in this case, wild garlic, which usually spreads here around March. Mother Nature is a gift to us humans in so many ways, and I'm sure all of its beings, whether they be physical or not, give something in return when you honor that. In nature, all of the aspects in me that could be described with the image of a funny, wild troll or a soft, playful fairy come out slowly. And they remind me that this is what life is supposed to feel like, not this constant grind of outer expectations chaining you to a foreign beat, but the unique story and experience that comes with flowing with the rhythm of your own heart. I'm not going to lie, you do feel like a literal troll going around here. It's just so precious, and I feel my spirits lightening up. from the long winter sleep, and I'm so happy about that. They taste so delicious. I forgot the English word, but this stuff that helps against vampires, it smells like that. Just so good because it comes from the forest and it has such flavor because of that. So often the world makes us forget what matters, demands too much of us, too many sacrifices, too many expectations. But self-care also means caring for your spirit, your true nature, tending to it like for a precious seed or flower in your garden. If you are currently in a phase where you feel like you are miles away from your true self, give yourself a hug. It's okay. You are not alone. But know that even though right now it might look like the door is closed, there are ways to open it. Sometimes it just means being very patient and taking your time to find the right key, the one that has been specifically made to be used by you and only you.